This video condenses the Anarcho-mutualism of Pierre-Joseph Proudhon, found in his book General Idea of the Revolution in the 19th Century, 1851, explaining how it addresses 6 aspects of society. 1. Order. 2. Market. 3. Property. 4. Structure. 5. Decision-making. 6. Means of production. Order. Proudhon appeals to the Golden Rule, saying, quote, "Do not to others what you would not they should do to you. Do to others as you would they should do to you." End quote. In Proudhon's view, quote, "If it is admitted and accepted by everybody, it is sufficient for the social contract." End quote. Market. Proudhon argues for market socialism, by which controls are placed on both sales and purchases, quote, "to regulate and to systematize commerce." End quote. In this market, both individual workers and worker associations are required to offer their products and services at what Proudhon calls, quote, "a just price as far as human calculation permits this to be established." End quote. Property. In Proudhon's system, people retain ownership of property used for their own needs. Consequently, he writes, quote, "Proprietors who occupy their own houses shall retain property therein." End quote. However, property owned by workers' associations is owned collectively. Proudhon says that every employee of such an association, quote, "has an undivided share in the property of the company." End quote. Structure. Proudhon organizes society on the basis of what he calls associations, the formula for which, he says, is from each according to his ability to each according to his needs. End quote. However, Proudhon insists that association should be entirely voluntary and without compulsion, so that, quote, "if the peasants think well to associate, they will associate." End quote. Association in this case means people forming social and economic groups, such as community and workers' associations, on the basis of mutually agreed rights and responsibilities. Decision-making. Proudhon rejects both representative and unanimous decision-making, writing, quote, "Neither election nor voting, even if unanimous, solves anything." End quote. However, Proudhon provides almost no description of his preferred alternative. The closest he comes is community-based decision-making, for which he gives the example of a community which needs a teacher and, quote, "chooses one at its leisure." End quote. Proudhon implies that workers' associations will make decisions in a manner of their own choice. Means of production. Proudhon insists that the means of production are the common property of the workers, writing that they are, quote, "the common and undivided property of all those who take part therein." End quote. Proudhon's anarcho-mutualism is based heavily on the social contract and the Golden Rule, principles which Proudhon assumes will naturally guide social and economic formation and maintain social order.